With Valentina's latest MCU appearance, the upcoming Thunderbolts movie has become a pretty big topic of discussion on the internet. It promises a lot already, including the return of General Thaddeus Ross and the inclusion of Yelena and her dad, the Red Guardian. There's also a possibility that we'll finally get the Red Hulk. In this video, we're going to talk about David Harbour's transition into a superhero and Ross's possible transition into the Red Hulk. First off, here's a reminder of why you should be excited about him. Last year's Black Widow movie revealed that Natasha was raised in an all-American family by Alexei Shostakov and Melina Vostokov, with her sister Yelena. We learn later that the family is a cover for the parents' espionage activities in the US. The family is broken up when General Dreykov, whisks Nat and Yelena off to the Red Room. While Nat and Yelena are turned into super spies, things go sideways for Alexei, and he ends up in prison. We find out later that this was all just a setback in Alexei's long career as a spy for the Soviet Union. You see, the Red Guardian was created as the Russian counterpart to Captain America, and he was even injected with a Soviet recreation of the super soldier serum. It's never really clear, though, if the serum ever gave Alexei superhuman abilities because he doesn't seem any stronger than his daughters. Alexei even insists that he fought Steve Rogers in the 80s, except Steve was frozen in ice at the time. Now, we're probably as surprised as you were that the character was being revisited in Thunderbolts. But he does have a super fascinating backstory, with a lot of mysteries that even he doesn't know the answers to. It'll be super cool to explore his backstory further and maybe find a place for him in the current MCU.
Then puts me in prison for the rest of my life. Why? Why would they put me in prison?
Now, you know what else will be fun though? Seeing David Harbour fight. The Red Guardian had a few fight scenes in Black Widow, and David Harbour's stunt double was good enough in them. But we're kind of excited to see David himself do some fighting. Yeah, you heard us. David's going to be doing his own stunts this time. He said so himself. Right now, the actor is busy working on Violent Night, a Christmas-themed action movie. Yes, by the way, we will be there on opening night. As part of shooting that movie, David has been training in martial arts like jiu-jitsu and Greco-Roman wrestling, among other things. They've apparently even developed a whole new discipline behind the scenes. When David told Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier about this, Schreier excitedly responded by saying that he'll be writing more action scenes for David in the movie. In the interview, Harbour said that he and his poor knees weren't looking forward to this. But you know what? We're not in the same boat with him. If this has gotten you even more excited for Thunderbolts, you'll be waiting quite a bit for that movie, unfortunately. But if you'd like an early look at David Harbour's new action movie Chops, you can catch Violent Night on the 2nd of December. We don't think you should miss this movie. It's all about Santa Claus himself kicking the butts of a team of mercenaries that have taken a family hostage. And yes, Harbour is Santa.
They're all on my naughty list. Naughty. That's naughty!
We'll now move on to Thaddeus Ross, another character we haven't seen in a while. Ross was a major antagonistic figure in the Marvel Cinematic Universe until he was forced to sit down by the events of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. We first met this incredibly pleasant man in The Incredible Hulk, where he's concerned about the mass destruction caused by Bruce Banner's big green inner demon. He also has a personal vendetta against Banner, since he happened to be dating his daughter at the time of his gamma radiation accident. And as Hulk, he injured Ross and put his daughter in a coma. Ross ended up making matters worse, though, by turning Emil Blonsky into the Abomination. Most MCU fans probably know Ross better for being one of the geniuses that came up with the Sokovia Accords. Seeing all the destruction that happened during the Sokovia incident and the Battle of New York, as well as the individual movies of these heroes, the US government has decided that it needs to step in. The Sokovia Accords were meant to rein in the superhumans of Earth, bringing them under government oversight and control. Of course, all Ross managed to do was cause a schism in the Avengers, which left the team unable to defend the planet against Thanos and his hordes. Good job, General Ross. You're 0 for 2 on stuff that has to do with superheroes and villains.
Last 4 years, you've operated with unlimited power and no supervision. That's an arrangement the governments of the world can no longer tolerate.
Now, before we see Ross in Thunderbolts, we'll catch him in Captain America: New World Order. Harrison Ford has been confirmed to be stepping in for the late great William Hurt in the role, and his appearances are locked in for both the next Captain America movie and Thunderbolts. The former movie is also set to feature the return of the Leader, who was also introduced in The Incredible Hulk. Since the Leader is a frequent flyer of Thunderbolts Airways, we'd expect the Captain America movie to set him up as a member of the team. We don't know what this movie is going to be about, but the title New World Order gives us some clues. Ross's whole deal so far in the MCU has been to try to control the heroes of Earth, and we doubt he's actually learned his lesson from how badly his efforts have screwed things up. The New World Order of the title might just refer to Ross's plans to bring the new Captain America and his pals under his heel. This movie would also present an opportunity for Ross to revisit his obsession with the super soldier serum. As we saw in Falcon and Winter Soldier, there was a pretty good recreation of it that was funded by the Power Broker and developed in Madripoor. Zemo destroyed the batch from the show, but we could see Ross try to remake the new version of the serum with his usual disastrous success rate.
Yeah, super soldier.
Yes.
Coming up, it looks like we're barreling towards Ross's ultimate destiny. Ever since the character was first introduced, fans have been waiting for him to turn into the Red Hulk. It's been quite the wait, certainly, but it looks like, with Thunderbolts, that might just happen. If it were to happen because, say, of a botched remake of the super soldier serum, it would be an ironic echo of what Ross did to Emil Blonsky. Another reason why we think that Ross will turn into the Red Hulk in Thunderbolts is that Harrison Ford can't really be expected to commit to an MCU role for such a long time. After all, Ford is older now than William Hurt was when he passed away. Age aside, Ford has expressed his tiredness from acting, and he probably just wants to retire in peace now. He's only doing this role because of the bragging rights of having been in the Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Marvel franchises. The Thunderbolts needs a Hulk on their roster. Abomination's loyalties are currently up in the air, and while the Thunderbolts have some strong characters in their lineup, Bruce Banner could pretty easily clean their clocks by himself. If he had backup, the game's over for them, so the Red Hulk might be needed in this team just to even the scales. And Ross sure wouldn't mind being able to push his agenda through with Big Red Hand. Finally, let's consider what the Red Hulk would mean for the MCU's future. We don't know the state of American politics in the wake of Avengers Endgame, so it's hard to say if General Ross is still the Secretary of State. That being said, She-Hulk did confirm that the Sokovia Accords has been repealed, and that was Ross's signature policy. We're assuming that his political career is in less than ideal shape when we meet him in Captain America: New World Order. It would be interesting if the American political system was willing to welcome a Hulk into the White House or Capitol. They did accept a Hulk into the law business after all, but we somehow doubt that's going to happen. Instead, it might be that Ross could try to fulfill his ambitions to bring the world's heroes under his control through CIA Director Valentina, while he himself operates above the table, so to speak. One thing's for sure though, the government's tense relationship with superheroes isn't about to get any easier. After all, the Avengers failed to stop Thanos, and they created chaos worldwide when they reversed the snap 5 years later. They've been involved in quite a few destructive events since then as well. So as far as people like Ross are concerned, there's more of a need to regulate these teams and individuals than ever before. They're still missing the bigger picture, of course. The scope of superhero crises has now extended to the multiverse.
You want me? Come and get me.
And that's it for today's video. Let us know in the comment section below if you're excited to see the Red Guardian or the Red Hulk in Thunderbolts. Just a quick reminder that the movie isn't coming out until the end of 2024. Our videos, however, are a lot more frequent, which is why you should totally like, share, and subscribe.